CTV Channel 6 is proud to present the Roundtable. What's happening in the city, what's going to be coming up in the city. Roundtable gives us a chance to sit down with some celebrities, public officials, people who are important to the community.
My fifth term.
Yeah, it worked out.
5.5 months as the sheriff.
We're a public agency.
We needed a program where we could have a little more in-depth time, find out more about them, who they are, what they're doing, find out what their thoughts are, and let you have a chance to get to know them a little better. Welcome to another edition of the Roundtable. My name is Paul Dingeman, and we're glad to have you along. Today we've got a guest, a very special guest from the city of St. Clair, and an author who is presenting their second book, and we're going to hear all about it from Summer Hanford. Welcome back to the CTV studios. We had you here a year ago, and you were going to be at a book signing at Marcella's in downtown St. Clair a year ago, and you're going to be back there on November 16th. But we wanted to get you in here and talk about what's been happening during the last year.
Well, several things have happened with my writing career during the last year. It's been a good year. I was invited to appear at the Southeast Wisconsin Festival of Books. So that's my first paid appearance as an author. They actually paid me to come and read my book.
Wow.
It was very exciting for me.
Where is that held?
That is in Waukesha,
Waukesha,
Wisconsin.
Waukesha, Wisconsin. Is it a pretty big show?
Yes, they have it at the university there.
Okay.
And yeah, there were lots of authors, lots of events. It's all weekend long, Friday, Saturday, and Sunday.
You see those kinds of things every once in a while, and you're clicking through, and you get to Book TV on the cable systems, and they have shows all over the nation, but it's got to be an honor to be invited.
Oh, it definitely was.
Were they looking for you particularly because of the genre that you talk about?
They were focusing on fantasy this year. They had the Science Fiction and Fantasy Writers of America was a co-sponsor. So yes.
How many people attended? Round figure.
Oh, I don't know. I would think about 500.
Oh, that's a good size. That's a good size. And probably from there you'll get other invitations, I would assume.
I hope so.
You hope so? Let's talk to me about the first book that you did write, that you took there and talked about.
The first book is called Gift of the Illusion.
Okay.
And it starts the story of a young man named Iridian and his quest to become a great knight, basically. That's his life goal.
On your website, it says you grew up on a dairy farm in upstate New York, earned your bachelor's degree in experimental psychology, and went on to 2 years each of graduate and doctoral work in behavioral neurology.
That's true.
How did you get all of that? I suppose that's good background to do a book.
Well, growing up, I always wanted to be a writer. It's all that I ever really wanted to do. And by the time I'd done 9 years of work in psychology, I decided that maybe I would go back to my dream of being a fantasy writer instead.
It's always amazes me that people think of things they want to do early in their life, when they're 8 or 9 years old, and then the really successful people do it. So you're on that path.
Hopefully.
Hopefully. So you are in this genre. You've got a new book. It's called Thrice Born. Talk to me about Thrice Born.
Well, Thrice Born is the name of the series, and the second book is Hawks of Sorga.
Okay. Keep going.
This continues Ari's story. He's vanquished his first foes in the first book, but of course there are more enemies out there. And there will be until the fifth book when he finds the ultimate enemy. But in this one, he does conquer a very, significant bad guy, and saves his dukedom of Sorga from being taken over. So it's an important part in his life.
How do you come up with the story? It's just fantasy, imagination?
Well, yes. I invented a world, and I invented these people, and from there it does take on a life of its own, because you think what the bad guys are doing, and you know what the good guys are going to do to try and stop them, and
then you just tell the story.
Yeah, it practically writes itself.
Isn't that wonderful? That is wonderful. You were at Southeast Wisconsin. You also told me before we started you're doing something new on the internet. What's that about? A writing?
I was invited to be a faculty member at an online writing studio.
Really?
They actually have a physical studio and online, but it's in Wisconsin. I do the online part. It's All Writers Workplace and Workshop, and they wanted a fantasy faculty member to teach fantasy classes, and they asked me if I would do that.
So you're doing it over the internet, right
Yes.
from here in town?
Yes.
Wow. And how many students would you have?
Well, so far I only have a few.
That's
I've
okay.
built up my presence, I guess you'd say, as a faculty member, but it's going well, and I'm really enjoying it.
So the students write a script or write a story and then submit it to you, and you...
I have a couple classes. I have 2 introductory classes, one to help people work out their whole world and what their system of magic is. It's really important to figure out these things before you launch into the book, or you'll end up with logical inconsistencies and it'll become confusing.
So it's just not sitting down in front of a typewriter or a computer and going to work. It's a little more complicated than that.
It is, because even if you think you have a pretty good idea, you'll get to points where you'll realize that something, you'll have a question of logic basically in your world. Is something true or not? Can something happen or not? And you need to know the answer because it helps shape the plot of your book. Really working out the details of your world will help you build your story much more easily.
Elmwood Leonard, the great writer from Detroit, recently passed away, as you know. And they were talking about how many pages he would put out a day or a week. Writing is very difficult. Do you find it difficult to get a page or 2 out a day?
Yes. It's easy to write in my head.
But when you sit down?
And it's easy to write when I sit down. The problem is the time, because everybody's life has so many things going on and so much pressure, and it is a little bit hard to convince yourself that it's a worthwhile use of your time to sit down for 3 hours and write your own story, rather than editing other people's work or any other thing you might do that actually for work.
Being a teacher on the internet, or
Yeah.
there's lots of interruptions.
Yes.
Okay, you are going to be at Marcella's in downtown St. Clair, across from the St. Clair Inn. When and why you're going to be there?
I'm going to be there November 16th from noon to 4, and I'm going to be having a book signing for
Wonderful.
the second book.
Okay, and so people can come and purchase the book and get it autographed by the author herself.
Yes.
That's pretty cool.
And the first book will also be available, so you don't need to worry if you don't have it.
Okay.
I have copies of that.
Let's take a second, and through the magic of television, let's go over to Marcella's and talk to Marcella a little bit about what's happening during this event, and the fact that she is going to be giving some cash to the St. Clair Ecumenical Pantry. We'll do that right now. Well, we have moved over to Marcella's store here in downtown St. Clair, and she has got a special guest with her. So let's first say hello and thank you for inviting us.
Well, thank you for being here once again.
What is going on here at Marcella's?
Well, on November 24th, we have a really big event for our community, and it's called Fashion for a Feast. And we are trying to raise money for the St. Clair Ecumenical Food Pantry. St. Clair County, I believe, food?
Just St. Clair.
Okay.
Just St. Clair.
Ecumenical Food
Townships
Pantry.
around, yep.
Yes, and what we're going to be doing is featuring all of our new fashions, Simply Marcella fashions, and hopefully we're looking to get 100 ladies or so in our community. It will be held across the street at the St. Clair Inn, and we have other community members helping us out. We have Silk's Flowers will be providing the flowers for us, and Sonia's Hair Salon will be doing the hair for us that day as well. So we're trying to get the whole community involved.
Simply Marcella's has been in St. Clair how many years now?
5 years, and I'm glad you asked. It's our 5th birthday celebration
Isn't that
next
wonderful?
weekend. Yeah, it's great. I can't believe you were here, over 5 years ago, and it seems like yesterday.
I look just as young as I did then.
Exactly, I was thinking that.
Just talk to me for just a second about the history before we meet Uncle Tom here, about the building and what it was and what it became.
Well, I think most members of our community do know that it was a gas station, and it has a long history of a few other things, but primarily a gas station. In fact, on the outside of our building, we have it listed so people can be a little bit more informed about where it was and where it is now. And I always make a joke because even though it was a gas station, it's now a girl station.
All right.
And it's nice because so many people come in and they all have ideas of what they thought it could be or should be, and I don't think boutique was in anybody's mind but ours, so.
But you've been successful. You now have a second store in Lake Orion.
Yes, we do, and that's going very well as well.
Good. Okay, let's get to meet Mr. Tom Schweihofer. Nice to see you, sir.
Nice seeing you, Paul.
You are one of the legends here in the community.
I don't know if I would go that far.
Oh, no, not that far. But you are involved with an organization that Marcella referred to, which is the St. Clair Ecumenical Pantry. Talk to me about that.
Well, the Ecumenical Food Pantry is a number of 8 churches that all got involved about 13 years ago. And each week or each month, a different church will take the process of handing out the food on Thursdays and Tuesdays and Thursdays.
Okay.
Over the last year, we've helped 1,094 households.
That's a staggering number.
Yes, and then individuals, it was 4,000, right around 4,000. We've taken in about 63,000 pounds of food, and we distributed probably 58,000. So everything comes in and out, and we do take donations. We take, there's a lot of businesses like Marcella, and there's doctor's offices, hospitals, schools. Everybody does drives for us, and that's what makes it work.
What is the geographic area that you serve? It's basically St. Clair and some of the surrounding
Our
townships?
boundary lines are probably Meisner Road to the south, Palms Road to the west, Davis Road to the north.
Okay,
And
so
of
that's a
course-
pretty good size area.
Oh, yes.
So that's a really staggering that you served that many homes and that many people in that geographic area.
Yes, it's remarkable, and we do have. It's not done by just one person. Mary and Lenny Brown are the head of this, and they do one great job. Throughout all 8 churches, there are probably 100 plus volunteers that work at this. It's just a staggering, wonderful organization, and I think everybody that works on this project is somewhat fulfilled in what they're doing. I mean,
Let's answer 2 questions for me. How can I get involved? And the other one is, if I have a need, how do I get in touch with you?
we do have a phone number here. I can give you that to call the Ecumenical Food Pantry, and Lenny and Mary Brown are the kingpins of this, and they will direct you to any of the food drives that you wish to do, or whatever.
So if you want to become involved, your service club or your whatever.
Yep. Or your individual churches.
Okay.
Like I said, there are 8 churches in town that are involved, and you just get a hold of your pastor, and they have leaders in every church.
Then
So,
if I've fallen on whatever kind of times and I need some food, how do I get that?
you would just call the phone number. You would set up an appointment. The days of the week are Tuesdays and Thursdays. You get on the list and you come down to the food pantry, which is at the old convent of St. Mary's, and then show your ID and make sure that you have everything you need, and you're good to go.
It's certainly remarkable that St. Clair first has to have the pantry, and then second that there's wonderful people like you and Mary Brown and her husband taking care of it.
Oh yes, like I said, it wouldn't happen without all the volunteers. I mean, the volunteers are great. I have to give everybody a pat on the back that's involved with that. We also do Christmas baskets and Easter baskets and Thanksgiving baskets that are handed out before Thanksgiving, like 2 days before Thanksgiving and 3 days before Christmas, or the week before Christmas. And I think there's probably 100 plus for each one of those.
It's lucky you retired so you could have time for all this.
Yes, it is. It is. It does take up a little time, but nothing that nothing like when I was working. So it's really rewarding, really.
Marcella, it's got to make you and your staff here at Simply Marcella's just feel a warm feeling that you're helping people like this.
Well, we like to do that, and when we get the opportunity, we try to jump in when we can. And last year was the first year we did the high tea for the food pantry, and we raised over $1,000 last year. So
Wonderful.
we're really hoping to bring in more this year. And like I said, I'm hoping for 100 ladies. It's $35 for your ticket. That includes your lunch and the festivities for the day, and a huge donation to the food pantry.
Okay, let's review the days and the times and all that kind of again.
The day is November 24th. It's a Sunday afternoon. It's from 1 to 3. And like I said, it will be at the St. Clair Inn. And we will have everything ready. And hopefully it's just an afternoon of enjoyment. And I thought to myself this morning, is this a ladies' event? And I thought, well, anyone can come. So it's up to you.
I can't make it on that date. Why should I still come here? Will you have reasons for people to shop before Christmas?
Well, that's a big question. Of course we have reasons to shop. I'm quite excited. I probably am adding things I shouldn't, but because I told you it is our 5th birthday, it's the biggest celebration we will ever have. We're going to have 50 items at 50% off.
Oh, my God.
We also sent out coupons to a lot of our customers. You have any one freshwater pearl item in the boutique for 50% off. That's not on sale. And then for Christmas, we have over, I think, 40 holiday specials. And right now I'm wearing 60 inches for $60, which we like to try to do a different one every year. And the bracelet I'm wearing is going to be a $50 bracelet, and the earrings are only going to be $20, or like 11 to 12 millimeter earring.
Well, they got some bargains and some specials.
Great bargains. And if somebody cannot make it the day to
Right.
for
That's what I'm
the
trying to
Fashion Fest, please feel free to drop off a donation to us if you'd like to do so. We would be more than happy to share it with the food pantry. And like I said, I'm very excited about it. My staff's excited about it, and we really think we can make a difference this year.
Okay. Thank you both very much.
Thank you.
Nice seeing you, sir.
Nice seeing you.
Nice seeing you. Now back to the studio in Summer Hanford. Well, that was a very interesting tour, and thank Marcella for supporting that wonderful, worthwhile charity in St. Clair and the St. Clair area, the St. Clair Ecumenical Pantry. We're with Summer Hanford, who will be there during a book signing on the 16th. What time of day was it going to be again?
That will be noon to 4 on the 16th.
Noon to 4 on the 16th. And you've got plenty of copies of both books, right?
I do.
Why did you pick the only 5 books in the series?
Well, to tell you the truth, I outlined the major plot points of the story, and there were 5.
So that's why it came out.
So there'll be 5 books, yeah.
How
5 big adventures.
It's got to be very exciting.
It is. It's very exciting.
And do you see more travels, more book festivals and things in your future?
I hope so. I will be traveling around doing book signings as well. And yes, I hope I'll get invited to more events.
We are glad you are here in St. Clair, and we
Thank
wish
you.
you all sorts of luck and in success in all 5 of the books, and
Thank you.
find out what the next subject will be after that. So we'll
Thank
have
you
you back.
very much.
And good luck on the book signing, the 16th of November at Marcella's.
Yeah.
That's about it for this edition of the Roundtable. Thanks very much for tuning in. Till next time, I'm Paul Dingeman. See you soon. CTV Channel 6 is proud to present the Roundtable. What's happening in the city, what's going to be coming up in the city. Roundtable gives us a chance to sit down with some celebrities, public officials, people who are important to the community.
In my 5th term,
Yeah, it worked out.
5.5 months as the sheriff.
We're a public agency.
We needed a program where we could have a little more in-depth time, find out more about them, who they are, what they're doing, find out what their thoughts are, and let you have a chance to get to know them a little better.